everybody. Welcome to Gentle Yoga this morning, and thank you for your patience with getting all signed in today. We're going to do our Gentle today, so you want to make sure that you have your blanket and a block, anything, a cushion, anything that might make today's practice more enjoyable for you. So we're going to begin. Go ahead and begin in a comfortable seated position. Maybe that's sitting cross-legged, maybe it's sitting on your shins, maybe it's sitting with your legs out in front of you. So sitting up tall, nice tall spine, putting a little bit of space in your collarbone. Let's go ahead and reach our shoulders up towards our ears and roll them back. Begin to close your eyes. And let's just center here. Go ahead and let go of any to-do lists that you might have, any worries. This next hour is completely solely for you. Just be right here in the present. We're going to begin to connect our breath. Breathing in deeply from the belly, up through the collarbone, in through the back of your throat, and then exhale through your nose or pursed lips. Let's take another deep breath in. Breath travels up the spine. And breath travels down the spine. Breath travels up the spine. And breath travels down the spine. And as you're connecting your breath and beginning to hear it in the back of your throat, this is a great time to set an intention for today's practice. It might be a goal, or it might be a single word, like gratitude, patience, kindness. And the reason we set an intention is it's a great thing to come back to during your practice if your mind starts to wander. So just continuing with your breath, thinking of what your intention is. Let's take another deep breath in from the belly. Sip in a little more. And then exhale through your nose or pursed lips. And then on your next breath, go ahead and place your fingertips. Just TP your fingers right on either side of your body. Take a deep breath in and reach up towards the ceiling, spreading all 10 fingers. And then exhale, bring your fingertips back down to your mat. On your next breath, we're going to take that same movement, but then we're going to come over to the right, coming down onto our elbow. And then exhale, come onto your right elbow and reach over, reach up towards the ceiling, spread all 10 fingers, and then exhale, take it to the opposite side. And then press on back up. Take your hands and place them right on your knees. We're going to begin to roll out our shoulders. Sitting up with that nice tall spine, just begin to roll your shoulders, hearing your breath. On your next breath, take your right hand, reach it all the way around your head, touching it with your, touching your left ear, and then just gently pull your neck towards the side. Thinking about that right ear touching your right shoulder. Take your hand and put it on the back of your skull and draw your chin or your nose towards your armpit, getting a nice stretch in your neck. Exhale, let's do the other side. Taking your left hand, reaching it across your head, touching your right ear, drawing your neck towards your left shoulder. Hearing your breath. And then releasing this, same thing. Take your left hand, place it on the back of your skull, and draw your nose towards your left armpit, getting a nice stretch. And on your next breath, go ahead and take your hands and press them into your knees. Let's sit up with a tall spine, and let's begin to make deep circles. Deep body circles, just bringing your chest down towards the mat. And then come to neutral and reverse those circles. Feeling a nice stretch in your low back. Your next breath, we're going to just work our way down the body. Uncross your legs just slightly and take the right foot and just plant it right outside the left knee, sitting up with that tall spine, and then reach out in front of you and wrap your left arm around that knee, and then take your right hand, reach it back behind and look over your shoulder, getting a nice stretch. Feeling it in your waist, part of your low back. And then coming back to neutral, let's do the other side. Taking your left foot, placing it right outside your right knee, right arm's out, reaching around, take your left arm, place it behind you, and look over your shoulder. Hearing your breath as you inhale, exhale. Stay here for another breath. Inhale, exhale, release this, and let's make our way onto our knees, coming into a table position. And once we're all here in table, we're going to take some cat-cows. Before we do that, take a look at your fingertips. Make sure that they're pressing deeply and firmly into your mat, almost like spider fingers. This will protect your wrists. Anytime we're in a table or a down dog today, we're going to make sure that our fingertips are doing this active movement. So coming into our next movement with our cat-cows, let's take a breath in, drawing your belly button in towards your spine for cow. And then exhale, drawing your chin towards your chest for cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. On your next breath, reach your right hand out in front of you as though you're shaking someone's head. Your thumb is facing the ceiling, and then reach your back foot behind you, your left foot behind you, toes facing the floor. Stay like this. We're going to balance, or reach back behind you, grab your foot, draw it up towards the ceiling, and we're going to hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just take your hand, your right hand, and press it back into the mat, leaving your toes facing the ceiling. Inhaling and exhaling, we're going to work our glutes. So lifting the toe up towards the ceiling. Breath travels up the spine. Breath travels down the spine. Breath travels up the spine. Breath travels down the spine. And then on your next breath, go ahead and come back to your neutral table. Take a cat-cow here, just one. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. And then on your next breath, we're going to take some wide hip circles before we work the other side. So reaching your hips back towards your heels, almost envision a hula hoop motion as a child, really rotating your spine deeply all the way around. Taking our time here. And then on your next breath, when you get back up to your neutral table, just rotate those in the opposite direction. Nice organic movement. And as you're doing this, just bring in awareness. Maybe your chest is touching your thighs. Maybe you're bending your elbows a little bit. And then coming up to your neutral table, we're going to work the other side. So reaching that left hand out, thumb facing the ceiling, reaching that right foot back, toes facing the floor. Stay here or reach back behind you, grab your foot, lift it up towards the ceiling, drawing your thigh in towards the opposite thigh, and let's hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then go ahead and place your left palm down, leave that foot up on the ceiling, and we're going to work our glutes, reaching those toes up towards the ceiling for several breaths, hearing your breath as you're doing this in the back of your throat. Inhale, exhale, and then go ahead and gently come back down, and let's take another cat-cow here. Breathing in, cow. Exhale, cat. Drawing your chin toward your chest. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then coming back to a neutral spine. We're going to just let our head drop and take a look at your fingertips. Make sure that they're still making those little indentations into your mat. And then just drop your head. Take a look at your right knee. We're going to be working that next. We're going to be working on a pigeon pose, but getting there in a very gentle way, taking our time. So looking at your right knee, just draw that knee towards the right wrist. And then once you get it close to your wrist, very gently bring your right foot towards the outside left side of your mat. And then just work your left foot down. Maybe you're pressing through your hands to get there. Make any adjustments that you need to. And you are in a pigeon pose. Now, if pigeon pose is not for you, there is an alternative way to do this. So if you are currently in pigeon pose, you can go ahead and work your way down towards your mat, pressing your chest into your mat, maybe pressing your forehead into your mat as well. If this isn't for you, if this is uncomfortable, you can also take a pigeon pose on your back. That is simply coming onto your back, raising your right leg, and just bending the left knee over the right leg. Almost looks like an upside down number 4, reaching through and just drawing that leg towards you. So I'm going to come back to our traditional pigeon. And we're just holding this pose, feeling the stretch. Breath travels up the spine, and breath travels down the spine. And breath travels up the spine, and breath travels down the spine. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and press up. If you're on your back, just meet us in your tabletop position. If you're in traditional, we're just going to lift up slightly, coming up onto the left knee, and then just replacing our right knee on the mat, and we're back in our table. Meeting up in table, let's take a cat-cow here. Breathing in for cow, exhaling for cat. Let's take one more. Inhale for cow, exhale for cat. And then on your next breath, we're going to do the other side. So looking down at your knees, looking at your left knee, just begin to draw your left knee to your left wrist, rotating the left foot to the right side of your mat. And then that same action, just sliding the right leg back behind you. And remember that option of coming onto your back if this is not for you. Noticing that sides are a little bit different too. So sitting up, allowing some space in your collarbone. Begin to walk your fingers down. Maybe you're able to come as far as your elbows. Maybe you can even walk your fingers a little deeper and come a little further. Noticing if your breath is maybe taking you a little further and a little deeper. The more you breathe, the more flexibility you will have. So we're going to hold this, hearing your breath, remembering that if your mind begins to wander, you can go back to your intention that we set at the beginning of class. Breath travels up the spine, and breath travels down the spine. And breath travels up the spine, and breath travels down the spine. And then slowly beginning to come out of that, making your way back into your tabletop. Just gently, once again, taking your time. And let's take another cat-cow once we're all back in our tabletop. Breathing in for cow, exhaling for cat. And then on your next breath, we're going to come into our very first downward facing dog of the day. So check your fingertips, make sure that they are making those little dents into your mat. Go ahead and tuck your toes. And then just come up slightly on your knees, just bringing them about 2 inches off your mat. And then go ahead and draw your hips up towards the ceiling, maybe even keeping a little bend in your knee. And this is a good time to work your calf muscles, make any adjustments that you need to. Begin to lower your left heel, bend your right knee, and then do the opposite side, just working out those muscles. Inhale, exhale. And then on your next breath, let's all come up onto our tippy toes. And if at any time you need to come down and take a child's pose rest, please do that. And let's draw our heels towards the right side, feeling a different stretch in our down dog. And the next breath, come back on your toes. Just bring those heels over to your left side, feeling a stretch. Next breath, come back to neutral, bringing your tippy toes towards you and drawing your heels back to your mat. And then on your next breath, we're going to just walk our feet slowly to our hands. Taking our time, eventually coming into a fold, but we're going to turn this into a rag doll. So put a little bend into your knees. You can let your arms dangle, let your head dangle, relax your neck. Go ahead and shake your head yes. Shake your head no. And then intertwine your arms, just grabbing for the inside edge of your opposite elbow. Make some little gentle movements side to side. Being aware that all 4 corners of your feet are firmly into your mat. Create some stability. And then let your arms just dangle again. Let your head just dangle. We're going to begin to rise up slowly, 1 vertebra at a time. Slowly coming up, taking our time. Your head is going to be the very last thing to come up. And once your head is up, we're going to take a mountain pose. Reaching up for the ceiling, spreading all 10 fingers, spreading all 10 toes. And maybe even pressing your arms as close as you can to your ears. If not, go ahead and bring them out to the sides. Go ahead and tuck your tailbone, lift all 10 toes and lower them. Then we're going to take a fold. Exhale, fold. And you don't have to touch your toes. Just come down like you were before and let your head just hang. Inhale, halfway lift. We're going to take a flat back here. So if you had a glass of water, it wouldn't spill. Back is so flat. Maybe even bring your shoulders up towards your ears and roll them back. Finding that perfect little spot of flat backness. Then on your next breath, go ahead and press your hands back into your mat and send your right leg back behind you. We're coming into a low lunge. You can TP your fingers here. Take your gaze to the floor right in front of you. And let's go ahead and plant that back foot, the right foot. Just plant it on back. We're going to come up into a warrior 1 on your next breath. Breathing in, coming into warrior 1. Reaching up for the ceiling. Exhale. Deepen your pose a little bit. Make sure you can see your big toe and your little toe just by moving your knee side to side a little bit. And then on your next breath, we're going to turn this into a warrior 2. Taking your gaze right between your fingertips. Once again, making sure that your knee isn't flailing out. If it is, just draw it right back to the center line. Trying to square your shoulders above your hips. And then on your next breath, we're going to reverse this. So taking your left hand, reaching it back behind you. Maybe even you look down and you see your fingertips palm up towards the ceiling and reach up towards the ceiling, gazing up, maybe looking at your right thumb. And then exhale right back into a warrior two. We're going to turn this into a little dance. Next breath, reverse, inhale, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse, exhale, warrior two. One more, inhale, reverse, exhale, warrior two. Then on your next breath, go ahead and straighten your right leg and just rotate at the hips. So your arms are going to be out, almost like an airplane, out on either side of you. Inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, take a fold. Put a little bend in that front knee, rotate all 10 toes towards the front, and let's send that right leg back. Let's take a child's pose here. So dropping your knees, bring them wide outside your mat, toes to touch, and just begin to walk your fingertips down in child's pose. And let's stay here for a little bit, pressing your forehead into the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Deep inhale from the belly. Maybe sipping in a little more air. And then exhale out. And then on your next breath, let's begin to walk our fingertips to the right side. Maybe even taking your left hand and placing it on top of your right, feeling a nice stretch all up and down the left arm. And then slowly come back to neutral. Take a breath here. Deep inhale. Exhale. And then walk your fingertips towards the left. Maybe you take that stretch a little deeper and place the right hand on top of the left. And coming back up to neutral. And on your next breath, go ahead and press up into a table, bringing your knees back to that center line. We're going to come up into our down dog and do the opposite side. So tucking your toes, squeezing your fingertips into your mat, lifting up through the knees, coming all the way up into your downward facing dog, gazing to the back of your mat. And on your next breath, go ahead and raise the left leg, bend the knee, thread it through, plant it right in between, coming into your warrior one. And your back foot is going to be at about 2 o'clock planted. Reaching up towards the ceiling, really lifting up. And then exhale, come into your warrior two. We're going to do the same little dance that we did on the opposite side. Before we start, just check to make sure that you can see your big toe, your little toe. You got a nice bend in the knee. And then inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior two. On your next breath, go ahead and straighten that front leg. And we're going to take our triangle. Reaching up towards the ceiling, gazing at your thumb. Inhale, exhale, and go ahead and come on up and rotate at the waist, almost airplane mode. You can go ahead and bring all 10 toes out towards the front. Inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, take a fold. Feel free to put a little bend in that left leg. And on your next breath, we're going to actually bring the right foot forward to meet the left. So inhale, lift, and just bring that foot forward. And let's take a fold. And then slowly on your next breath, begin to come up. Letting your arms just dangle, coming up one vertebra at a time. Head is the very last thing to come up. And once we're there, let's go ahead and reach up towards the ceiling. Spread all 10 fingers, all 10 toes. And then exhale into Tadasana. This is a posture pose. And this is what we're going to do just to get ready for our balance part of our sequence today. So if you want to be close to a piece of furniture or the wall, stepping off your mat, maybe if you're on some heavy carpet, go ahead and make those adjustments, and we'll meet back up into Tadasana. So coming into Tadasana, we're going to lift our shoulders up towards our ears, roll them back, creating that space in our collarbone, squeezing our belly button in towards our spine, and imagining there's a little string that's holding us up from the ceiling, just lifting up through our spine. Lift your kneecaps, turning on and igniting all those muscles in your legs. Toes are still lifted. And then go ahead and squeeze your arms, turn on all your muscles, and then just relax everything. We're going to press all of our weight into our left foot. So pressing our weight there, go ahead and inhale your right leg up and take your right hand and just grab your knee. And you can put your left hand on your waist or that piece of furniture or the wall. If you're confident with your balance, you can go ahead and take your left hand and extend it out. Go ahead and activate the right toes and lift that knee up a little higher. Maybe this is your balance for the day. And if this is it, go ahead and find a spot on the floor to gaze at. If you want a little bit more, you can actually open that leg up towards the right wall and hold this. Inhaling, exhaling, holding your gaze. And then release your leg down to the floor. And let's go ahead and bring our feet out hip distance again. We're going to take another mountain pose. Reaching up for the ceiling, spreading your fingers wide. Inhale. And then exhale into Tadasana. Let's take another breath just like that. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, Tadasana. Nice work. We're going to do the other side. So pressing our right foot, all four corners, the knife edge of the pinky, the big toe mound, just for stability, making sure our heels firmly pressed on the right and left side. Go ahead and raise your left leg. Grab your left knee with your left arm. And maybe this is all that you do. You can put your hand on your waist or that piece of furniture or the wall. If you're feeling that your balance is stable, you can go ahead and extend that arm, the right arm out to the side. Maybe even take your gaze to your thumb on that extended side. Maybe you stay here or you open up at the hip and take it a little further. Find your gaze and let's hold this. Hearing your breath. Inhale. Exhale. And then slowly releasing this. Let's meet back up into that mountain pose, bringing our feet about hip distance. Nice work. Reaching up for the ceiling on the inhale. Exhale, Tadasana. Let's bring that back. Let's do that one more time and lift all 10 toes. See what that feels like. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take another reach towards the ceiling, reaching your arms up, sweeping them, and then bringing your palms together and drawing your hands down to heart center. Press your palms together and press your fingertips together here. Deep breath in. Sip in a little more air. Exhale out. Let's take another sweep up towards the ceiling. Palms together. Drawing them down to heart center. And let's do that again. Inhale up. Exhale down. Nice work. We're going to do one more balance. We're going to set up a tree pose. It's almost like what we just did. We're going to ground all four corners once again on our left side, and then set up our tree, bringing our foot out, avoiding the knee area, so we can make it a low tree or bring it up high for a high tree. Deciding what is best for you. Sides are different, keep that in mind, and then pressing your palms together. And when you're ready, take an inhale and begin to just grow your tree once again, finding a place to gaze at. Maybe it's on the ceiling, maybe it's on the wall, maybe it's on your floor. Holding this, hearing your breath in the back of your throat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Stay for one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Maybe shake out that leg that you were standing on, the left foot. Let's go ahead and bring our feet back to hip distance. Reach up for the ceiling, inhaling up. Exhaling into Tadasana. Lift all 10 toes, wiggle them around, and then relax and set up the opposite side, grounding all of your weight onto the left foot. Deciding where on this side you want to set up your tree, just avoiding that knee area. Pressing your palms together, and then inhaling up, exhaling the arms out, growing your tree. Opening up through the chest if you're able to, maybe even taking your gaze to the ceiling. Staying for 3 breaths. And then exhale, come on back down. Make any adjustments you need to make out, any wiggles that you need to make, and then bringing your feet about hip distance. Let's take a mountain pose again and reaching up for the ceiling, sweeping those arms up. Exhale, Tadasana. Lift all 10 toes. And then on your next breath, we're going to sweep our arms back up again. Palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Go ahead and close your eyes here just for a moment and think of your intention that you set for today's practice. Drawing your mind back to the present, back to the here, back to the now. And then let's release this. Reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, let's take a fold. Let your head just hang. Your arms can dangle. You can put a little bend in the knee if you need to. And then inhale, take a halfway lift, pressing your palms into your shins, maybe into your low thighs, just flattening that back, taking your gaze to the floor right in front of your mat so you're not straining your neck. And then exhale, press your palms back into your mat, coming back into a tabletop. And making any gentle movements that you need to make. We're going to take a cat-cow here. Breathing in for cow. Exhaling for cat. And then coming back into a neutral table. On your next breath, go ahead and reach your right foot behind you. And we're going to come into a plank. You have an option to come onto your elbows if you need. just take it very gently. We're not going to stay in the plank. We're just making our way gracefully and respectfully onto our bellies. So on your next breath, go ahead and bring your left foot back behind you and come down on your elbows and just slowly, slowly, slowly rock forward and lower onto your mat. And just bring the tops of your feet down onto your mat. While you're down here, go ahead and press your right ear into the mat and just take a little rest, connecting with your breath. Inhaling, exhaling. And keep your hands up close to your shoulders. We're going to be doing a little pose in just a moment. Take another deep breath in, deep breath out. And then on your next breath, we're going to take a locust pose. We're going to be lifting our hands off the mat and lifting our feet off the mat. Everything's going to come off the mat except for our torso and belly button area. We're going to try to hold this. So on your next breath, go ahead and lift your head, lift your hands, lift your feet, lift. And we're going to hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then lower down and press your left ear into your mat. Maybe you'll even want to bend your knees and just swish your knees side to side, move your hips along with your knees. Just enjoying this little break. And then on your next breath, go ahead and bring your legs back to a neutral position, just lowering your knees, straighten your legs again. We're going to do another locust pose just like we just did. So on your next breath, go ahead and lift up. Holding this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Press your right ear into the mat. And take a nice breath in. Sip in a little more air. Exhale that out. Breathe in. Exhale out. And then on your next breath, bring your hands in front of you, coming up onto your elbows. This is a Sphinx Pose. And we're just going to hold this for 3 breaths. And a great way to make sure your alignment is proper, I'm just going to take a little break here so I can explain this, is take your right hand and just bring it to your left arm. And then take your left hand and bring it over to your right arm. And if they connect, then you know that you're in good alignment. And then just bring those arms right back. A little measuring trick. Take your gaze to your mat so you're not straining your neck. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. Nice. On your next breath, go ahead and place your hands right where your elbows were and draw your elbows towards each other. You're going to lift yourself right back up into that tabletop position. And for just a moment, bring your knees closer to your hands, feet are flat on your mat, and just sit back on your heels. Sitting up with a tall spine. We're going to take a moment to take care of our wrists. Take your hands, make a fist with them, and just begin to rotate your wrists. And then we're going to rotate them in the other direction. We used our wrists a lot today. Anytime you're doing tabletops or downward facing dogs, you want to take care of the wrists, not forget about them. And then on your next breath from here, go ahead and just bring your legs around to the front, right in front of you. Sitting up with that nice tall spine. I'm going to actually face this way. And we're going to do a half dragon. So draw your toes up towards your forehead. You're going to already feel a nice stretch through the legs. And then take your right leg, just bring it out On your exhale, bend the left leg and just set it up. It almost looks like a tree pose. Draw those right toes up towards you. And we're going to take a little twist towards our right leg. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, take a little fold. And you don't have to touch your toes. Just relax your hands on either side. Bring your gaze maybe to your ankle and just draw those toes towards your forehead, getting a nice stretch. Maybe even take your gaze to your knee. Connecting your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And then on your next breath, let's set up the other side. So go ahead and bring that right leg back in and send the left leg out, pressing your right foot into your left thigh, rotating at the waist towards your left. Let's go ahead and inhale, reaching up towards the ceiling. Exhale, take a fold. Feeling a nice stretch in your low back. Drawing those toes up towards your forehead. Gaze is towards your ankle or your knee, anywhere in between. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then go ahead and press yourself back up. Bring your feet back around onto your mat. We're going to make our way onto our backs. You can bring your hands out to your body side, thumbs facing the ceiling, and take your time getting down to your mat. If you feel a little vibration, maybe stop there. And then keep going down. Just slowly, slowly, slowly. If you need to bend your knees or even place your elbows back for a little bit of support, go ahead and do that as you're coming down. Being safe, taking your time. And once you're down all the way on your mat, find an awareness about where your body is. Is there a little space right at your low back? Can you reach your hands underneath? If you can, maybe draw that into your mat, pressing that part of your low back, the sacrum, the lumbar area, into your mat, seeing what that feels like. And then on your next breath, go ahead and bend your knees. Maybe press that area a little deeper into the mat, taking an inhale and an exhale. Then on your next breath, bring your knees right over the hips, just to hover. We're working our way up into a waterfall. So take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then slowly straighten the right leg and slowly straighten the left leg. Draw those toes towards you and straighten your legs as straight as you can get them. Maybe you even want to rock side to side. Hearing your breath in the back of your throat. And then on your next breath, we're going to take that reverse pigeon that some of you may have already done earlier in today's practice. We're going to bend the left leg, setting up the ankle right above the right thigh. So it looks like that upside down number 4. Now, if this is too much, you can always bend the right leg and make it into a different variation. I'm going to keep mine up in a traditional reverse pigeon, taking your hands, reaching them through, clasping your hands together, and then pulling that right leg towards you. And you can also deepen the stretch by pressing your left elbow into your left thigh. And here you can make some gentle rocks. This is a great pose if you're having trouble sleeping at night. It lowers blood pressure. It improves your heart circulation. It's said that it even grows your hair. So kind of a fun pose. Very relaxing pose. And then on your next breath, we're going to switch sides. So just bring that left leg up Reach through and press that right elbow into that right thigh. And if you're comfortable, you can make those little rocks side to side. You can always bend the knee, change your variation up a little bit. It's all about comfort and feeling good and good to your body. Hearing your breath. Breath travels up the spine. Breath travels down the spine. And then on your next breath, let's turn this into a happy baby. Bringing your knees, just bending them, flexing the feet, and grabbing the outside edges of your feet. That's one option, or grabbing your big toe and your second toe. Try them both out and see which one feels the best to you. Maybe you want to make some little circles into your mat, pressing in with that low back region. Make sure you reverse your circles if you decided to do that. And then on your next breath, go ahead and bring your knees to your chest and pull them into your chest just as much as you can. Relaxing your neck, maybe even moving your head side to side. Let's take a lion's breath here. Deep breath in from the belly. Sipping in a little more air, and then breathe out through your mouth. Don't be afraid to make a noise if you do. Let's take another lion's breath here. Deep breath in. Sip in a little more air. Lion's breath out. Nice, very nice work. On your next breath, we're going to set up for a supine twist. So go ahead and bring your knees just to hover right over your hips. Draw your arms out into a T if you have room. If you are limited on your space, you can always bring them into a T and experiment. See which one feels the best, the most comfortable to your shoulders. I'm going to have mine out into a T. We're going to take another lion's breath here. So deep breath in from the belly, up through the collarbone, in through the back of your throat, and then exhale out through your mouth. And let's take another breath in. Deep breath in. And then on your exhale, let those knees fall to the right side. Just let them fall and take your gaze over your left shoulder. And if you want a little deeper stretch here, you can either stay like this, or you can extend your left leg and pin down that right leg right over it. You can also twist your legs into almost an eagle position for a really deep, intense stretch. So you can try out what feels best to you. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Shoulders are glued to the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then on your next inhale, draw your knees right back over just to hover. Keeping your arms out straight. Let's take another lion's breath. Deep breath in. Lion's breath out. Just feeling any kind of anxiety just leave you. Deep breath in. Lion's breath out. Let's take another inhale. And then on the exhale, bring those knees over to the left side. Gluing your shoulders onto the mat, and then take your gaze over your right shoulder. And whatever you did on the right side, if you extended the leg, if you eagled, or if you just stayed with your knees bent, just do that same thing on the left side. Such a nice pose. And we're just going to stay here for 3 breaths. Breath travels up the spine. Breath travels down the spine. Breath travels up the spine. Breath travels down the spine. Inhale. Exhale. And then on your next breath, go ahead and slowly draw those knees to hover right over you. And we're going to take one more little squeeze, just squeezing those knees right into your chest, making some little gentle rocks side to side. And then on your next breath, take a hold of your knees and rotate them out, pressing the soles of your feet together. And then just let your feet come to your mat. Noticing if your space in your low back became aware, if you had that arch. And if you do, just press that arch down so you create a lack of space on your mat. And go ahead and bring your palms up. Just relax your arms. Maybe squeeze your shoulder blades underneath you a little bit. Close your eyes, press the soles of the feet together, and let's take another lion's breath. Deep breath in. Lion's breath out. And then on your next breath, bring your legs wide outside your mat, letting your feet just flop, completely melting into your mat. And we're just going to do a very quick body scan as you're relaxing. We're preparing for Shavasana. Just bringing awareness to your face and your forehead and really soften right in between your eyes. We furrow our brows a lot. Just soften through there. If your tongue is stuck to the roof of your mouth, just let it drop right into the low palate. If your teeth are clenched, maybe move your jawbone side to side. Soften. Relax through your collarbone and your neck and your shoulders all the way to your fingertips. Just feeling an energy going down your fingers, your arms to your fingers. And then relax all the way through your torso into your hips, letting go of any residual tension you may be holding there. Relax through your knees, releasing any strain. Relax through your ankles all the way to your toes. Closing your eyes, melting. We're going to stay here for about 7 breaths. So just keeping with your breath. Going back to your intention if you need. And then very slowly, gently on your next breath, begin to bring some awakening and movement into your body. Maybe wiggle your toes and your fingers. Maybe begin to make some little circles with your wrists, making them fists, rotating your ankles. You can bend your knees, place your feet on your mat, press that low back into the mat a little deeper. Windshield wipe your legs side to side. You can even take a happy baby here, draw your knees into your chest. Just taking this time to reconnect with your body, reconnect with your breath. And then on your next breath, let's all meet up in a pencil stretch. Reaching for the wall behind you with your fingers, reaching for the wall in front of you with your toes. And at this time, turn on all your muscles, just ignite everything. Squeeze your face, squeeze your thighs, squeeze your abs, squeeze your fingertips. And then on your next breath, just melt right back into your mat, bringing your arms back by your body's side, letting your feet just flop. Take a deep breath in. Deep exhale out. And then on your next breath, roll slowly and gently to your right side. Just coming over to your right side. You can even make a little pillow with your right hand, right arm, when it comes on my back, not to you. Pressing the left hand into the mat. Eyes can be closed or opened here. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. And then on your next breath, taking your time, very gently, begin to press yourself back up into that seated position where you started today. Maybe it's cross-legged, maybe sitting on your shins, maybe sitting on a block to add a little height. Your hand or your feet could even be out in front of you. Just taking your time getting here. And once you're here, go ahead and sit with a nice tall spine. Reach your shoulders up towards your ears. Roll them back, opening up through your chest. And allow your fingertips to just be at your body's side. Take a deep breath in, reaching up towards the ceiling. And bring your palms together, drawing them down to your heart center. Spreading your fingers wide, pressing in to each fingertip. We're going to rotate our palms one more time. So inhale and rotate your fingertips down. Take a look at your veins. This is a nice stretch for the wrist. And then inhale them right back up to your heart center. I want to thank each of you for practicing with me today and your patience for our technical procedures at the beginning of class. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.